Right, so we're going to continue on with this. Right, you've got a yeast cell. Yeast cell feeds on rotting fruit, and then fruit flies feed on yeast cells. So at the bottom, you've got rotting fruit. And remember I said the arrow goes up. It goes onto fruit. Oh. Right, let's draw a fly. Fruit flies. Remember up arrow? No. I've got this right. Let's not delete that. Can we grab that? Can we move that? No, I don't think so. So, oh yes. Right. We can be cheeky and do that. Ooh, we've left the F behind. We can take the F back up and put it together. There you go. You've got yeast cells. How do you draw a yeast cell? No, I'm drawing the wrong thing. Yeast cells. Yeast cells. So remember what we said. This arrow is pointing up because the energy is going up. So that is your food chain. Right, we've got a food web in ground litter, leaf litter. So remember producers. If you can call that a producer. Interesting. Right, they've classed that as a producer. Primary are the first level of feeders. Secondary, second level, they feed off the primary, and tertiary are the ones third. At GCSE, you tend to get maximum 3. So let me just go through the food chain. Here is one food chain. Here is another food chain. Here is another food chain. And here is another food chain. So we're being asked to look at the number of different tertiary consumers. Primary, secondary, tertiary. There's only one. They've given us that, yeah? Number of trophic levels. Trophic levels. Look at that as food levels or energy levels. So there's your first, there's your second, there's your third, and there's your fourth. It's got 4. Number of food chains we've done. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Number of different predators. Oh, okay. So these are not considered predators because they're not feeding on other animals. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. Right, okay. And now we're looking at number of different consumers. That's these 4 are consumers because they are consuming the primary. Keep calling it the producers. So we've got 4 there. Then we've got these 2. They're consuming these 2 there, and you've got this wolf spider. So altogether we've got 7. Right, a predator is something that eats another animal. Now, what would be interesting is a Venus fly trap considered to be a predator? Is its primary Don't know. Because it's a plant, would it be classed as a predator? If you've got any answers, I would be interested. Right, okay, here's a trop. Tulgren funnel. It's to help study and take samples of animals. So what happens is you've got the light that's getting animals or little creatures to hide behind underneath the leaves, and then the small ones will fall into here, the larger ones will stay there. And then what they do is they do an experiment. So they wanted to look at the number of millipedes. Millipedes are those with loads of little legs, and the centipedes are those with. So if you look at the word centi, 100, because it's got less legs, you can see that visually, and millipedes have loads of little ones, so they just decided to call it milli, as in milli being thousand, centi being hundredth, I think, if I've got that right. So now that's on centi's 100, milli is 1,000. So if it's milli, it's 1,000. So you've got that split up into 1,000 pieces. I think that's the thinking anyway. What is a quadrat? A quadrat is like a square, normally like a half a meter by half a meter. So you need 4 of those in a square meter. And you place it randomly in your field or area of study, and you count the number of organisms. And then you say, right, okay, that is representative of the whole area. So I roughly calculate it out. You don't draw it out, you do a calculation, you just multiply it out. You say, so you can say 4, 7, 10, 12. So whatever number I've got here, I'll assume it's the same. So I'll multiply by 12 to get the total population. Right, okay, so in the center of the forest, you've got, have you noticed you've got lots of millipedes, and then at the edge of the forest, you've got less. Now that could be that there's more light there and they hide from light, because if they can be seen, they'll get eaten by predators. There's more leaf cover in the middle usually, so they've got more places to hide, there's more food, there's moisture, the conditions are better for them. Right, one stimulus that millipedes respond to is light. Suggest 2 of the stimuli. So what makes them hide or become active? It's the temperature or heat of the area, I suppose gravity as well, and moisture or dampness. How would gravity? I suppose, yeah, if they know where up and down is, and normally they don't want to go up because they'll get picked off by the birds on the trees or on the plants. State the difference between the number of millipedes in the leaf samples in the 2 areas. So there are more millipedes in the center, right? Because like we said, there's less light and they can hide, and there's less competitors. No, not less competitors. Let me less predators. so less animals that are going to eat them. You can say that there's more leaf litter, and that is food and cover. You could also say that there's more moisture, and more moisture. That's terrible. That is moisture. That means that the conditions are better. They can drink, they can stay hydrated, and stay alive. A student collects leaf litter using a quadrat. Remember we said a quadrat is a square, typically half a meter by half a meter, made out of wood or metal or even plastic. Right. One thing, do not use the word quadrant. That is a part of your maths thing. So this is your first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. They don't want that. And some students do write quadrant. It is a quadrat. Okay. Aphids are insect pests. They live on broad bean plants. They are controlled by lacewing larvae. Right, so we need to draw. So there's your bean. Come on. Bean plant. These are your aphids. Right, what we need to do is we need to draw food chain. So that is a fantastic broad bean plant, right? Broad bean. That's why I like to write the name in case. Right, up arrow to the aphid. Aphid. Oh, do it again. Let us move your. We need to draw it. Let's just draw it with that color. It doesn't matter. There's my aphid. And then up arrow, and you've got lacewing. I don't know what it looks like. Is it a lace wing? What is it called? Lace wing larvae, all one word. Lace wing larvae. Larvae. Okay, there's your food chain. Right, what does the word decompose mean? It's the, what can you say? It's the breakdown. I would say it's the breakdown or digestion of organic matter by what? I tend to put fungi, but you can put fungi, microorganisms, bacteria. Right, humus. Dead plant material in soil is called humus. It is used as food by earthworms. The earthworms are eaten by birds. Right, humus. How do you draw humus? Hummus. Isn't that made out of chickpeas? Anyway, look. There you go. Hummus. Then you've got the up arrow pointing to earthworms. Write the word earthworms and then up arrow to birds. Hummus. Yeah, anyway, that's the that is what is that? That is a food chain of hummus, earthworms, and birds. Right, we've got a food chain of thistle, which is the producer. I can eventually get it right. This is the primary consumer, and this is the secondary consumer, and this is the tertiary consumer. Right, name the producer. It's the thistle. Secondary consumer is the song thrush. We're not interested in that. You can have the cornea and pupil, but it's not clear anyway, that picture. We've done that in another one. Right, so you've got to read all this. So quickly read this. 1, 2, 3, and you are done. Then you need to answer. Right, look, we're not interested in that. We're not interested in that. We're interested in that. Listen, we're not interested in that. It's this food chain, lines 13 to 17. So let us go to line 13, 17. We have been forced. Line 13 to 17. Small fish live in our oceans. They eat microplankton, and then they are then fed to salmon. So look at this. This is the food chain. This is salmon. This is anchovy. Do you know, I thought anchovy was a this is plankton. I thought anchovies was a, to be honest with you, it was a plant, but it is a smaller fish. Right, okay, look, so we've got here, let's, small fish called anchovies. They eat microscopic plants called plankton, and then these are caught and fed to bigger fish such as salmon on farms. So we've done that. That there is that's what we're interested in. Why a stock? It was overfishing. Fishing. So fish unable to reproduce and have more increase the stocks. So there's a high demand from humans as well. High demand from humans. Are we happy with that? Yes. Right, this is that rabbit question. Why are 5 kilograms of anchovies produce only 1 kilogram of salmon? That's quite a good return. Right, remember, not all what? Eaten. Right, some energy is used for respiration. What was the other one? Not all the food, not all the anchovies are digested, so it comes out as poo or egestion. Excretion, so cell waste, so your body respires for energy for movement, and you produce waste, so respiration causes excretion of waste, and that's normally urea and then urine. Let's have a look. Right, good, we've got a few charts coming up, which is good. Right, producer, primary, primary, primary. This one is also secondary, secondary, and secondary. And this is your tertiary. Right? You have one trophic level or energy level, trophic level 1, 2, 3, 4. Here you got the producer. So this level here, you've got 2 producers. This level here, you've got a primary consumer. These are secondary consumers. Consumers. Right, but remember this one is also primary because it directly eats the berries. And that is a tertiary consumer. There you go. How many trophic levels? 1, 2, 3, 4. Which organism is a primary? Okay, that we said the song thrush is both a primary thrush and a secondary. It's this one here. Why do farmers use pesticide? So right, okay, so it's to reduce number of aphids. It kills them, so less plants are eaten or damaged, so you get a better yield of crop. And just put that in. They're not going to mark you down. It's win-win. Explain how this pesticide would affect the population of sparrowhawks. So if you put a pesticide on for aphids, that means that there's going to be less sparrows and robins. Okay. So first of all, they're asking you what would happen to the population. So it would decrease. Why? Because there's less sparrows, because there's less aphids, less sparrows because less aphids. Right, you also get a problem of bioaccumulation. Bioaccumulation in food chain. Right, remember we did something like this. So look, here's a pest. I'm going to put pesticide on it. So there's a few of these pests. And I've sprayed it on. And a hungry bird comes and eats them. So it's going to eat that, that, and that. And this will end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dots in here. Right? And then you've got a hungry. Then you've got a hungry. Let's use that. Then you've got hungry. Chicken. That eats that. So now if the hungry chicken eats 2 of them, it's going to end up with 12. And then if a fox came and ate 2 of these, each time, have you noticed, it's building up for 2 from there, 6 from there, and 12 from there, and so on. So it's accumulating, gathering up as you go down the chain. Right, biological control. rather than pesticides. So there's two types of pesticides. There's biological pesticide or control and a chemical control, pest control. What are the three advantages of using bio? Okay, fair enough. It targets specific organisms or pests. Usually, not always the case, but usually. There's no chance of resistance due to chemical mutations building up. There's no bioaccumulation in food chain. And finally, it lasts longer. Right, good. Right, is this? Yeah, we haven't got much to do on this one. Right, okay. So you've got a diagram showing 4 trophic levels. The number of the chemical energy contained in all the organisms at each trophic level is kilojoules per meter squared per year. So have you noticed it goes down a lot, and a lot. Typically they say you've got a 10% transfer rate. So if I had 100 joules of grass for energy, a rabbit would only benefit from 10. And then a wolf might only get, or a fox might only get 1. That's why you'd have to eat lots of rabbits and you'd have to eat lots of grass. Anyway, that aside. Energy is contained at each trophic, so trophic levels is the energy level in the form of chemical energy. Organisms at trophic level 1 are plants. Name 2 carbs in plants. Ooh, okay. Starch and glucose, I tend to remember. You've got cellulose, which is the cell wall. Still got energy, whether we can take advantage of it or not, it doesn't matter. The organisms at trophic level 4 are called tertiary consumers. So remember, this here is a producer. It makes its own food. This is a primary consumer. This is a secondary consumer. Oh goodness, what's going on? What's going on? Secondary consumer, and this is a tertiary consumer. Right. Organisms at trophic level 4 are called tertiary consumers. Give names that describe organisms. So we call it a secondary consumer. Right. You can squeeze this in last question anyway. Right, here's a food web. Producer, primary consumer, primary and secondary consumer. You've got, this is a tertiary consumer and also secondary consumer. That's a primary, secondary, tertiary consumer and secondary consumer. And these are 1, 2, 3. These are 4th level consumers. So we've got really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 trophic levels. So number of producers. How many producers are there? There's 1. That's the diatom. Number of primary consumers, there's 2. And number of food chains. Okay, let's get rid of that. Let's try to draw them. We'll try to draw them in an ordered way. Look, so 1. Right, then I'm gonna go along here, this way, I'm going to go to 2, then I'm going to go this way. Oh, 1, I'm going to go up there, then I'm going to go up there, and I'm going to go up there, and then I'm going to go along there, along there, along there, and along there. So we've got 4 so far. Then let's get rid of them. We've got 4 so far, and then what we do is we go that way. 4. You've got another 4 there. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then you've got 9, and you've got, so up there, and then there 10. So that's a trickier one to get your head round. Oh, 10. So we've got 10. Let's put that down. Right, this is standard answer. What's the most obvious one? Not all of the organism eaten. The energy to the mudworms. Yep. So they don't eat all of this. Some of it will get left, some of it will just rot away. Yeah. Right, some energy is wasted, some energy consumed on I suppose respiration for energy, for energy, for movement. Right, not all food or the diatoms or the zooplankton is digested. It's egested. Yeah, it comes out. So you also get excretion. This is waste coming from cells due to respiration. So some is lost as excretion from cells, and it's normally lost as urea or urine. Okay, so these are like standard answers. If you noticed, this is what you want to do. You want to keep going over past paper questions and topic papers, and then if you get stuck, go read it up in a book. Right, that should be enough. That's a 33-minute video.